Welcome back. As you know, I am Eli, the computer guy, here for your daily dose of the roars. Hold on one second. I brought out my timer again. Let me turn this thing on. There we go. I actually have real work to do for Silicon Dojo. Silicon Dojo is doing pretty well. We're having a class on AI computer vision using the Moon Dream model coming up on Wednesday in Durham, North Carolina. It looks like we're going to be bringing back Silicon Dojo to Asheville. There's a whole thing going on there. So Eli's got some real work to do. I can't just sit here screaming at a camera all day. We got to get in some time discipline. So anyways, hopefully these videos are gonna start to be faster because I just gotta do them. I gotta encode them, I gotta upload them, I gotta get on to more interesting things. So this is a curious story. This is a curious story that is, so 2025. So 25. You look at the story and you say, you know, if this was any other year, 2024, 2015, maybe even 2035, you would think it was an Onion article. But because it is 2025, you know it's real. You know it's real. And so apparently Ukrainians are now suing U.S. technology companies essentially for culpability for Russia's attack on Ukraine. So they think this is a wise idea. This is not a wise idea. This is not a wise idea. This is not a smart idea. This is, I don't know what the hell is going on here. So I think one of the interesting things, like when you look at the whole Ukraine, whatever the hell is going on there, is that the Biden administration, again, under the Biden administration, where we basically had a blank check to Ukraine, or tried to have a blank check to Ukraine, nobody actually really made the argument for why the United States should really support Ukraine. Like there's this whole idea, like we need to support Ukraine. But the argument was never really made to the American people, and the American people never really bought into it, basically, in general, right? It was just Russia attacked Ukraine. Of course, we're gonna send them $200 billion, right? Anyways, you have the Republicans and you have Trump, you know, doing whatever the hell Trump is doing. And the interesting thing right now, again, with Trump is his ambiguity as far as Ukraine is concerned. Will we help them? Won't we help them? And the whole 9 yards. And the issue is with that ambiguity, he can have that ambiguity because, frankly, most Americans really don't give two shits. To be honest with you, to be absolutely honest with you, look, we don't even remember Iraq. We don't even remember the wars that we were part of. Most of us don't really care that much about Ukraine, to be frank. And so what's kind of interesting here with this whole thing, with this whole idea that Ukrainians are going to sue American technology companies after we've allocated $200 billion. Now we've allocated $200 billion. How much of that money has actually gotten to Ukraine is another big story. Anyways, over $100 billion of our money has gone to Ukraine. That's $100 billion that theoretically could have built hospitals. I mean, they weren't going to build hospitals, but theoretically they could have been used to build hospitals. Instead of being theoretically used to build hospitals here in the United States, that money has gone to Ukraine. And so you look at this, and you got Trump, and he's all being ambiguous about how he feels about Ukraine. And you have Americans don't really give two shits about Ukraine. And you already have a tremendous amount of money that's gone to Ukraine. And you put on top of this, you're now going to have Ukrainians suing U.S. technology companies. I cannot imagine how that's going to go well. If you take a look at Ars Technica, they've got a big, long, tedious argument about this. But Ukrainians sue U.S. chip firms for powering Russian drones and missiles. Lawsuits may force Intel, AMD, and Texas Instruments to do more to control chip supply chains. It could do that. It could do that. Or it could get Trump to truly say, fuck this, we're taking all of our toys and going home. If you go through this, it's kind of interesting. Basically, it talks about these chips from Texas Instruments and AMD and Intel are being used in drones and missiles. And as I've talked about before, yeah, right? I talked about this, you know, these whole technology guidance packages, right? I've got lots of stuff here. So this is something called a Raspberry Pi. This is a Raspberry Pi 4, actually. And basically with this thing, you can attach this. So this is a GPS module. So this used to cost $45. I don't know, in the modern world, I don't know how much it costs anymore. But this was $45. This is about $30. So you tie these two things together, and for about $75, you have a modern guidance package that's actually pretty good. On top of that, you can add a camera. that's not a camera. Anyways, you can add a camera. You can actually run OpenCV on this. OpenCV is something called a computer vision model. So you can have GPS, you can have a computer vision model running relatively well with a database, all that kind of stuff, you know, trucking along. And one of the things I've talked about for a while is this whole idea of the consumerization of warfare, right? The thing, when Ukrainians are using Starlink to kill Russians, right? However you may feel about Elon Musk, and to be clear, everybody has opinions about Elon Musk. However you feel about him, I honestly do not believe in any way, shape, or form he wants Starlink being used to kill people, right? But that's the thing, right? It's this consumer grade ISP system that is now absolutely and utterly integral to the Ukrainian military establishment. And again, they're using that in order to kill Russians. Apparently Russians are also now, you know, there's a mobile Starlink system. So now apparently Russians are now essentially duct taping mobile Starlink systems in order to guide, you know, the missiles going back the other way. And so anyways, one of the things I've talked about for a long time now is this whole issue of the consumerization of kind of like military grade hardware and the whole question of what do you do about that? Again, you know, you talk about Gen Z, right? Gen Z is all around the world, right? Some Gen Z is sitting in Silicon Valley, I don't know, trying to replace human beings. And some Gen Z, right? There is Hamas Gen Z right now. Think about this. There's Gen Z Hamas that are sitting there thinking, you know, what about like DoorDash, but for grenade? Like what if you can deliver a grenade? Like we talk about cluster munitions, you send a big ass missile and you try to scatter these things. What if you can just send like 3,000 grenades with wings on a pop that will get within a reasonable area of the destination address, right? That's kind of like the modern world that we're in. And so it's interesting here basically with the Ukrainians now. They're trying to say, they're sued to basically say that Intel, Texas Instruments, AMD, other companies basically have not done enough in order to deal with the sanctions regimes. And I think it's going to be curious to see how this plays out, because I do wonder how much they really can do. Again, when you're talking about NVIDIA, to be clear, right, the export controls on NVIDIA are as stupid across the board. Whether it's Biden doing it, Biden literally trying to do export controls on LLMs, on models, or it's Trump just doing whatever Trump is doing today, simply trying to do export controls on high level NVIDIA GPUs is turning out to be a royal pain in the ass, right? Truly, right? Those going to China. So how are you going to do with truly commodity chips from Texas Instruments and Intel and AMD? And how are they actually realistically going to track all that stuff? And so if they're now trying to sue American companies basically over what Russia is doing with this equipment, I just don't see how this is going to work out well. For them, for Ukrainians. Quote, these chips are like the steering wheels of cars, Watts, the lawyer, said at a press conference. Quote, without them, missiles and drones make no sense. He suggested that firms that claim they cannot trace their own products made a, quote, mockery of U.S. sanctions law. Or the U.S. sanctions law is a complete and utter mockery, and most of these businesses are just trying to get the fuck along. I think it's kind of interesting here. Again, if you go to the end of this particular article, they talk about it. Quote, they want to send a clear message that American companies must take responsibility when their technologies are weaponized and used to commit harm across the globe. So what the Ukrainians are stating in this lawsuit is that Elon Musk should shut down Starlink over Ukraine yesterday, right? Because if consumer technology is being used to kill people around the globe, then that consumer technology should be turned off, right? I'm sure that's what the Ukrainians are thinking right now. The press statement said, quote, corporations must be held accountable when its unlawful decisions made in the name of profit directly cause the deaths of innocents and widespread human suffering. Again, this is the issue that we get into with warfare is whose side are you going to be on this? And it's going to be a big mess. Quote, we want to make this process Jesus Christ. Dear Ukrainians, stop licking the walls. I know the Europeans lick the walls. I know. You want to be European. You look at the Europeans. You see the Europeans licking the walls. And you're like, I want to be able to do that. I want the freedom to lick my own walls. There's a reason. There's a reason there are laws against licking walls. I know the Europeans make it look cool, but it's not. It's gotta take you down a bad path. Because listen, think about this. This is the quote. Quote, we want to make this process so expensive and painful that companies are forced to act. Watts said, quote, that is our contribution to stopping the war against civilians. We want to make this so painful against American corporations that Trump says, fuck this, we're going home. So yeah, I'll be curious to see where this all winds up at the end of the day. As I've said before, in general terms, I support Ukraine. I think we should be supporting Ukraine. I also think we need a fucking policy. I'm not even saying a rational policy at this point. Man, rational policy is a stretch goal. I'm just saying a policy, right? We need something. What does the win look like? What does the loss look like? But the issue, as I've said before, is even on the Biden administration, they did not argue to the American people why we should put hundreds of billions of dollars into Ukraine and why we should theoretically risk World War III. That was never argued even under Biden. You have Trump in there now doing whatever the fuck Trump is doing half the time. And so if you look at this, if you look within that macro environment, and now you see Ukrainians directly trying to sue our American companies, I just don't imagine how that's going to end well. I don't know. I don't see how that is a particularly smart idea. And so it'll be curious. It'll be curious to see how this moves forward. The big thing, again, with a lot of this stuff talking about and things to be considering is this whole idea of what happens with the consumerization of warfare. What happens with so many of these technologies can be used for war relatively easily. Again, whether it's the quadcopter drones that we've seen before, whether it's other things that are out there, it's amazing how those can be modified to be used to kill people. Again, they talk about that with we need to worry about artificial general intelligence. But the thing that I want you to understand, right? This is a Raspberry Pi vehicle right here. So this is a Raspberry Pi 4. This is not powerful or modern or whatever else. It's about a 10-year-old board probably. Anyways, it has a camera on it. I can actually run OpenCV in this. So OpenCV is a computer vision framework, and OpenCV can detect things like faces. It can just detect faces. So this can run OpenCV and detect faces. You can add, as you can see here, it actually has a H-bridge on here. This actually runs the motors. So and it can actually, what it can do is it can move either motors or servos. So with this, it'll either go forward or it'll go back or turn left or turn right, that type of thing, automatically. So if you just simply add what's called an actuator pushes something. So basically, if you just had a mount for a weapon and had a camera at top, and basically whenever it saw a face, it would center the target on that face, click the actuator, and fire. And you could build that for $200 probably. Again, think about that. Think about littering a battlefield with calico. So calicos were a cool gun from the 90s. What made them cool is they had 100-round magazines. Basically, people would turn those things into full auto, and you go zipper somebody, as they would say. Anyways, right? Imagine putting a calico with one of these things with basically a pan tilt system and an actuator on that, and imagine just dumping that into battlefields, right? And that can all be built in in your cupboard or whatever else. And so I think that's going to be an interesting thing to be considering, right, as we move forward. Like, what does warfare look like, and then what are the repercussions of when these types of systems are used in warfare? Like, are you going to restrict my ability to be able to buy a $30 GPS because theoretically this could be used in somebody else's drone system? And then how does that all flesh out at the end of the day? I don't know. Some things to ponder. Some things to ponder and some things to think about. Dear Ukrainians, put the wall down. Put the wall down. I don't care what the Europeans do. It's not cool. It's not cool when the Europeans lick walls. It's definitely not cool when you do it either. So what do you think about this? What do you think about the Ukrainians suing the United States companies. Do you think this is going to work out well? What do you think about, again, the consumerization of warfare? Like, think DoorDash for grenade. I don't know, put your thoughts. Put your thoughts down below. Do remember I do these videos in order to support Silicon Dojo, authorityless, gatekeeperless, free to end user, hands-on technology education that empowers you to do whatever the hell it is you want to do in Durham, North Carolina, and coming back to Asheville, North Carolina. Take a look at our schedule at silicondojo.com. We have a class coming up on computer vision. We have another class coming up on pushing AI to the edge. Lots of cool things coming up. If you want to help support free to end user education, there's a donor box link down below. And look at that. I did this all in right around 15 minutes. We're gonna try to make it faster. But anyways, see y'all later.